I got burnt out. I'm gonna be completely honest. It happens to everyone. It was really hard to accept that too. As a newer grad, being burnt out in like only my 3rd year, was kind of difficult. And, Kansas City is big, but it's only so big. So, I knew I didn't wanna work, in other hospitals in the area, and I had been traveling for some time on my own, just taking time off to kind of deal with that burnout. I would go and take short trips, but they were never long enough. So I thought, man, I had thought about traveling. I think I'm just gonna look into it and go for it. And I did. I looked into it probably 6 months to a year before I actually started doing it. Because before I wanted to travel, I knew that I needed to have my skill set down. Because there's that thing where travelers are just kind of thrown out there, which I would say is a little true. You're there to help relieve staff and other hospitals and help them out. So I kind of held off on it and I wanted to give my job another chance. I, Burnout is difficult because you explain it to your friends and family outside of the medical field, but how do you explain, "I love my job, but I don't know if I wanna do this any longer?" Um, and so I was always also, like, really envious of the other RTs that I worked with, friends who had been doing it for so long and specifically worked in that hospital for 10 years. I was just like, "Man, how do you get over this burnout?" Like, I'm just I'm taking time off like they suggested. I even floated to different units to kind of get a different workflow, and no matter, like, what I did, I just always felt so tired, and, I felt like I was losing sense of why I went into the field, and that's usually, you wanna help people, that's what you wanna do, and, like, it took me a while to admit that it was really affecting me, and it was starting to affect my work, and that's really hard to accept as a therapist. It's hard to kind of check yourself and tell yourself, like, hey, this is starting to show in your attitude at work. Your peers can see it, and maybe even your patients, because, like, we are all human. Um, so I kind of had to tell myself, like, hey, like, remember why you're in this. Like, before these patients came in as a number, as, just another patient added to your list, they were humans. And so I really thought about it and I just was like, you know what? I got to get out of here. Like, this might be the best place to work for in Kansas City, but it's no longer the best place for me. And I want to be that great respiratory therapist that I aspire to be, with a good attitude. So I think I'm going to find somewhere else to go, and what better way to do it than to start traveling.